Hello, it me. I make sim. Wow. Blah blah blah
So
blah.
I always start off with a blank base, and then I slowly try to design the character to fit what type of story I'd like to tell. And considering the Werewolf pack just dropped as of recording, I wanted to make a werewolf. So I think it's fitting because of the aesthetic of the pack to just do like a rag to riches type thing, and also it's a lot more fun that way. So this is Blake. I think her last name is Gray Sky. Not me forgetting their name, like, bro. Well, regardless, I think I might want to change the last name to something because it's kind of giving 2010's kid RPG game name generator. Like, it's giving Wizard 101. It's giving Math Blaster and Jumpstart. Anyway, this is Blake, as I probably mentioned. Duh. Anyway, I wanted to make her a lumberjack type character who looks like they could kick your ass and also probably could kick your ass, which is evident based on the scars that I end up giving her. I gave her yellow eyes also because I like giving some of my supernatural sims the Twilight and Teen Wolf aesthetic treatment with like, ooh, the good ones have the yellow eyes and the bad ones have the red eyes. It's probably because I read a lot of supernatural romance genres like the monsters, the aliens, the sparkly vampires. Ooh, I love me some sparkly vampires. And the thing about me reading these types of books are that I read an insane amount, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people that are in like the community, the book community, I guess, do. I read like a crazy amount of them, and it's all like generally the same vibe because it's comforting, I guess. I used to like dark romances, I guess, in middle school, and I recently got like really turned off by them because I got a TikTok recommendation for this book, and there's like, read the trigger warnings. I read the trigger warnings and I was like, okay, seems pretty standard. I read the book thinking that it's gonna be like just like mafioso type thing, and it's just like the male lead abusing the protagonist the entire time, and it's done in like a really traumatic way, and I had to DNF it because I got a little traumatized. The entire time I was watching it, I was like, when is she gonna have her moment of revenge? And it just never came. And the worst part is that it's a series, so it would have dragged on. And then I read spoilers online for the series to see like, oh, does it get better? It doesn't. It gets worse. And I don't DNF things lightly. I usually finish them even if I think they're trash because I'm a trash person and I like trash things. But it was way too much for me. Like, I love a brooding love interest, but like when they're misunderstood, the Beauty and the Beast treatment, I don't like straight up abuse. That's why I stick to my monsters, because they understand consent and they respect the protagonist. Anyway, back to my sim. Akin to most things that I do, she is inspired by the Twilight aesthetic, specifically in the first movie. Most of the sims that I make kind of give off that vibe because I only play with supernatural sims. I have a problem, I know. Also, don't mind me struggling to figure out how makeup works in this game. I know the swatches are bad, but I don't do makeup on myself, so I don't know anything about it. So if the makeup looks a bit off on this sim, it's probably because I don't have any knowledge of it. All of my information is just like short TikTok videos of watching pretty people do pretty makeup, and I don't have the skills because I'm too lazy to try. Anyway, back to my favorite topic to talk about, which is just books. I don't like the dark romance, at least what TikTok thinks dark romance should be. It's very much traumatic. Like, there was one where the guy broke the female lead's legs to keep her there, and I don't think that it's cute to be. I know that it's fantasy and like obviously a whole bunch of nonsense, but I don't like the normalization of that because I would read like really messed up things when I was younger, and for the longest time it's like, oh yeah, that's, I guess, normal. And it's not. It should not be normalized at all. And I know it says that it's marketed towards young adults, but I was reading YA when I was like 9, so obviously how well does that go? So yeah, I can handle a morally gray, misunderstood character that is just rough around the edges but means well ultimately, or learns their lesson at the end. But I don't like just straight up nasties it's not a vibe. Let's go back to Simlam for a couple of seconds while I make this outfit I put on the finishing touches. I end up putting these bracelets on her. I think they're really cool. They look like stuff that I'd wear in real life. And I gave her a bandage on her hand because I thought that maybe she'd get into a couple of scraps. And I gave her nails because, of course, I think that she'd be fighting with like full nails on, but they're technically claws, but she'd be fighting with the nails. Like, I just know that she would claw somebody up. I just know that she would beat somebody's ass. So here I am just adding scratches because I think that it would be realistic for her to have a couple of scratches and bruises if she had gotten into a lot of fights. And I also ended up giving her this really cute moth tattoo just because I liked it. The werewolf pack came with a lot of cool body scars, and like I wish it came with a little more tattoos. I want a leg tattoo. But here is where I have a bone to pick with the Sims team, because as you saw in the first outfit, this person has a flannel wrapped around their waist, and I was trying to find a good like match for it. I think that those like pants came with Happy Home Designer, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure. And they have a flannel that's pretty close, but it's like really skin tight, and in my mind I wanted her to have this baggy flannel type thing. So I spent like the next like couple, I think this took me like 15 to 20 minutes in like real life, just of me trying to find a good a good dupe for the sweatshirt, this flannel around her, and I ended up going with this one right here. That's the one that I think it's supposed to match because it looks the closest, but I didn't like how it fit on her with the rest of the outfit. I wanted it to be open, and the only open flannel that they have is a tank top flannel, I think, from Jungle Adventure or one of the outdoor retreat type things, probably one of the two. There it is. There's another one with short sleeves. I think that comes from Backyard Stuff. I'm not good with the names, but I try. Anyway, that's the one that I think was supposed to match, but it doesn't really have a more reddy shaded. I wanted it to be more red, and that kind of like looks like a pinky one. Same thing with the other one. I just wanted it to like look a little different, and I ended up putting her hair up in a ponytail because I thought that it'd be fun to just have different hairstyles. I don't usually do double outfits for each thing, but that's my bone to pick with the Sims team, is that they don't really have a proper match for the flannel around the waist. Like, why would you put something wrapped around the waist and not give us the actual shirt? Or maybe they did, and that was the thing that I thought was the closest to it, but it isn't. I don't think it's from the same pack either, so that's kind of annoying, I guess. And I'm aware that in the build by part of the game, there are also furniture items that are similar situations. So like, oh, this looks like it matches this furniture item, but the swatch is slightly off, or like the part that matches it is in a different pack. And I don't know why they do that. I guess it's a weird capitalism thing. It's probably good for sales, I guess, but it's icky and I don't like it. But here I am just giving her, I wanted to give her tied up hair in the beginning, but I ended up putting her hair down for the formal just because I thought it suited her more for formal. I think that she wouldn't wear the braid for, yeah, I think I do end up doing long hair down. And I'm sure you've already noticed, but I wanted her general color palette to be red and black, just because I thought it would fit with the lumberjack aesthetic. And in my mind, lumberjack aesthetic is basically the black and red flannel. I'm not sure if you can hear my music, by the way, but it is background music. I think it comes with the Werewolves pack, and I thought it was kind of cool. I used sim music actually this time because I keep getting copyrighted for the other ones. I usually try to get around copyright by using Animal Crossing music, but I have a couple of earlier videos. Obviously my covers ended up getting copyright strike because it doesn't match the thing, and I don't profit off them anyway, so I don't know why that whole thing happens. But regardless, let me not talk about YouTube stuff that I don't understand for like 2 seconds and talk about this flannel dress, because like I said, lumberjack aesthetic, it's just a vibe. I think I'd like to go down the lone wolf route with this character because I support women's wrongs, and I also think that maybe as like an explanation for why they hurt their knuckles is that they would punch somebody, like they punched somebody or they did a violence, and I would like them to fight Greg so that they could be the baddest bitch. That was an unintentional pun, but anyway, I think I might download a mod or something that makes it so that you can get like injured and have to go to the hospital after you get into a brawl or something. Oh, and by the way, I'm sure you've noticed, but I don't use a lot of CC. I really only have a whole bunch of eye colors and like extra hair colors and skins, and then just the lashes. I used to be a CC person, but my computer can't really run a lot of mods, and I filmed this on my school laptop, which wasn't a good idea, but I did it anyway. So like I said, I think that I'm gonna take the lone wolf path for this sim because I think it'll be a lot of fun. Maybe later on we can make our own pack with get together. I downloaded a wolf pack mod that has it so that you could do wolf activities in like clubs, so it's definitely something that we can do. Also, with the create a werewolf, it's super fun, but I wish that they had an option for symmetry, because then I would have probably painted more patterns by hand on her. But anyway, this is Blake. Oh, and I think that I actually do double outfits for a couple of ones. I don't know how you can automate it. I have options. I like to have options, but I don't know how you can make it so that, like, oh, this sometimes they wear this outfit and sometimes they wear that outfit without manually changing it. So maybe it's something that I could switch up like every episode. Assuming I do episodes, because my Stardew Valley series is kind of up in the air. I did figure out how to do mods for Stardew on my laptop, but once again, I'd be recording on my laptop, so it's gonna be kind of weird, or not weird, I should say interesting, to record video. So here we have the second outfit for party wear. I didn't really know. She doesn't strike me as the type of person to go to very many parties, so I struggled to dress her for this. I struggled to dress Sims period, but especially the party outfits, because it's like, I don't really know, like, wouldn't you just wear normal clothes? Like, why do you have to have a specific party outfit? I guess for clubbing. I don't go to clubs, can you tell? Yeah, no, Miss Rona kind of messed up my whole like freshman year of college experience. I don't really go out much. I play The Sims and read books. Oh my god, I sound like such a dork, but it's true. I do not go to the clubs because of COVID. I have like that anxiety always, like in the back of my head. I still wear masks when I go out because I am not messing with none of that. And yeah, I'm a playwriting major now because I switched from journalism to playwriting, and it makes a lot more sense for just how I am, because I do like to read and write a lot. And I was recording videos while I was at school, but I felt weird because I used to live on campus. I don't anymore. For the spring semester, I ended up moving home, and I still didn't record because I was too busy with school, but it was a lot. But now it's summer and I can record more, hopefully, and I don't have to feel awkward with having my roommate watch me record videos, because like she was there when I was recording my Animal Crossing tier video, the rating of the Animal Crossing villagers, and I could tell that she was kind of like cringing. And she also was watching YouTube videos, or rather she was watching Netflix, not YouTube or whatever, but pretty loud. So I was like, oh no, I need to like go huddle in the corner, and there wasn't a lot of privacy in our room to do that, so it was kind of hard. But yeah, don't have to worry about that anymore because I don't live on campus, and it's the summer, so I don't have to worry about school. I was on academic probation for a while there, but that's a story for another time, or never. Popping back into Simland, the Creative Wolf is kind of cool. I kind of wish that they had a symmetry paint tool for werewolves like they do on pets, because then I'd probably paint more patterns on them. I don't really like that you can't do symmetry because I am a very symmetry oriented person. Whenever I do my doodles, most of the time I do it with symmetry on, partially because I'm lazy, and also because I like everything to look the same, and I can't do that on my own because I'm foolish like that. So I need a little extra help to do symmetry. And also, if I had decided to paint the werewolf at all without using the stencils, which I ended up doing, I ended up putting like a hue of red in their fur because I thought it would match the red lumberjack vibes. I keep calling back to that, but it's really important to her aesthetic. But here I am, this is where I do it. I do like the paint tool. I figured, you see, this is where I tried to do. I was like, maybe we could give them like this pattern, and then it was just too much. So the time I'm recording this voiceover is a couple of days after I've actually recorded the physical video, partially because I was too lazy to narrate then. But I downloaded better feet. I downloaded 2 versions of like the werewolf feet so that they don't just look like human feet, and I downloaded tails so that it could be cute. And I know the werewolves aren't really supposed to have tails and that it doesn't match the aesthetic, but I just like it. So this is Blake. Gave her the swagger walk, I guess. And there's a new pronouns feature in the game, which I thought was cool. You could set custom pronouns, so I thought that was interesting. And I wanted to give her she, they pronouns, so I was trying to figure out like where to put the she and where to put the they, because you can't have it so that they can use both and not just alternate it. So that's the thing. I really think that this feature is really cool, because then you could just make your pronouns be whatever you need them to be to like suit the character that you want to have, or if you want to have yourself be accurately depicted. That doesn't sound right when I say that, but you know what I mean. This is Blake, and I think this is where I actually type her name. Their name is like Blake Gray. I said this already. Blake Gray Sky, and as I previously mentioned in the beginning of the video, it kind of sounds like an RPG automated like name where it's like, oh, silly sky jumper or something like that. Blake Gray Sky. So it'll be Julian Fancy Pants. And that's just like how they name the RPG characters. Anyway, speaking of, I didn't introduce myself. Duh. It's the end of the video. Well, no, I don't feel like recording an intro or like just messing around with my audio. So, by the way, I'm Emmy. So that's my name, Emmy Mads. Coming at you live from New York City. Just kidding. I'm not live or in New York City right now. So yep, that's me, Emmy. If you enjoyed the video, you can leave a like, subscribe, and if you want to see more of my nonsense, though I don't post very frequently, I am at Garbage Cabbage on TikTok and at Lil_Miss_Emmy on Instagram. There'll probably be a link in the description to any other socials, but those are the ones that I primarily use, and not even often. I'm pretty bad with my social media game, but you know, we're working on it, and yeah, I'm excited for this possible new series. I might do 100 days type situation as this character and just like try, or I can maybe make machinimas. I don't know how to make machinimas in The Sims. I should probably not be that ambitious and promise that. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Vibes. I just know that this entire thing is going to be a disaster. It's going to be chaos, it's going to be a disaster, and I just know it.